Hey and howdy everyone, it's Jeannie with Paper Pixie Ink. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you how to create this little pop-up page. I know that I have done tutorials on this before, but I wanted to do a separate one based on this page because this is one component that has a pocket behind it. So let's dive in. Okay, so this is my base page. So like all my other pocket pages, it's the same. So I'm going to start with a piece of cardstock that I am going to cut to 7 1/4 by 8 1/2. So this is already 8 1/2, although we will measure that. So we're going to trim this to 7 1/4, just like that. And we're just going to make sure that this is 8 1/2, and if it's not quite, it's a little long, so we'll just trim off the excess there. I'm going to put my paper trimmer to the side, and I'm going to grab my scoreboard. And we are going to do some scoring. So to start, I'm going to score this at the halfway mark, so that's 4 1/4. And we're going to do some trimming to this as well, but let's get our scores in. So I'm going to score at 6 3/4. Then I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to score at 6 3/4 again. So we kind of have this little H going on here. I'm going to grab my paper trimmer again. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to trim along my score line here, right up until my score line here. And then I'm just going to kind of turn this over and do the same thing on the other side. So on the same side, I'm just going to trim along the score line to my next score line. And now I'm just going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut these little tabs off. I'm going to fold these because this is going to become my pocket. Finish those down well, and then I'm going to fold this way. And burnish along there. So now we have this. So this will go down on our page just like this, and we'll have a pocket right here with our tabs attached to our page, and this will become our pop-up component. So let's work on this. I'm going to grab my cutting board. And we need to trim 2 pieces of cardstock to this. So this is 4 1/4, because remember we left it at 8 1/2 and we scored at 4 1/4. So we need something that is cut to 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. So 5 1/4 and 5 1/4, and then 1 1/2, and 1 1/2, grab my scoreboard real quick. We're going to score these 2 pieces at the 1 inch. I'm going to grab my cutting mat and these 2 pieces, and we're going to make a couple of marks with a ruler and a pencil, and then we are going to score these again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, along the score line in the kind of the middle, about a half an inch in, I'm going to score, or I'm going to mark at the 1 inch mark. I'm going to do that for both pieces. And then along this side here, so you have the 1 inch section here, along the top here, I'm going to mark it at 2 inches. And again, I'm going to do that with both pieces. And then I am going to grab a scoring tool. This is from McGill, I guess. It's at 2mm. And I am going to score from this 2 inch mark to this 1 inch mark here on the score line. And then I am going to score from this corner here. So this is the 1 inch section. I'm going to score from this corner here. And I'm just going to score all the way down. And then we are going to cut this piece out. And we're going to do that for both of these. So we're just going to cut this out. Okay, so this is the one that goes on the left side of the page. It's going to fold like this. We're going to open it up. We're going to fold this one this way and then this one this way. And then this is going to be the one that goes on the right. So you're going to fold it this way. You're going to open it up. You're going to fold and then fold. So let's go ahead and attach our pieces. So the piece that goes on the left, you're going to have it folded like this, and you're going to line this side up with the left side here. So what we're going to do is we are going to put glue on this little 1/2 inch tab. And we're just going to line these corners up. And then lay it down. And we're just going to burnish it to make sure that it stays well. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So you have it folded like this so that this 1 inch open side can line up against this side. And we're going to go ahead and put some glue on that. And again, we are going to line this up in the corner, just like that, and press it down. And then we're going to burnish it. And then we're going to open both of these sides. We're going to push these down, and then these will come this way. It's a little crooked. Let's just fix that. And then we are going to put glue on both of these little triangular tabs here. Again, you don't want to put too much because you don't want it seeping out, but you want to make sure that you have really good coverage, because this is your pop-up component, and you want to make sure that it stays stuck really well. And then once you have those, you are just going to press your top down right over those. And then we are going to burnish them and leave them sit for a little bit so that we can make sure that that glue really adheres well. Okay, so now that we have our base piece put together, we are going to cut and glue on our two cards that will pop up. So to do this, we can't make them any wider than this space in here, and we can't make them any taller than this space from this corner here to this. So in the case of this one, we are going to make this 3 1/4 by 4, and we need 2 of those. So 3 1/4. 4, there's 1, and that's 2. So now these just get glued on just right here like this. So I'm going to take my glue and right along the bottom edge and right along that score line. I'm just going to do the exact same thing on this other side. And there we have that. So in order to hold this down, you can either create some sort of closure that like flips up, or you could put a couple of magnets just right in here on these two parts here. I think I'm going to do a flip up one this time. On the other album I just put 2 magnets here, but I'm going to do a flip up one instead. So I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of cardstock, and I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. So let's cut this to 3 inches by 1.5 inches. It doesn't have to be huge, just big enough to take a magnet and hold. And I am just going to line this up so it's nice and straight, and then I'm just going to give it a score. You can do this on a scoreboard too. A fold. Varnish, of course. And then this is going to get attached to the back of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. It's going to go down here. So I'm going to find the center. Then I'm going to find the center on this. Then I'm going to glue this onto here. So glue is going to go on the back side here. Then I'm going to line these two center marks up. Make sure that it's straight. And then this will flip over like this. And so I'm just going to put a magnet on here and on here. Grabbing my 3/4 inch double-sided adhesive. Just going to grab a couple of pieces. I'm just going to lay that down. Press. Then I'm just going to use my stylus here. I'm just going to push it down. So there we have the base component for this. Now we just have to put our pattern paper on it and attach it to our base page. So I've been using this pad, so I'm just going to grab some paper to use for my various pieces. I'm going to grab my cutting board. So just cutting the tops off just below the perforation. And now we're going to need a few pieces. So let's start with this piece. This should be 4 by 6 because this is 4 1/4 by 6, 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. So this is already 6, so we just need to cut to 4. So we can put this right here. And then I'm going to cut this down. And I'm going to cut another piece for up here. So that piece can go right there. We are going to need a piece for on here, but let's do the inside first. So we're going to cut another piece to 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm just going to use this piece. And we will cut this to fit. And then these two pieces, 4 by 3 1/4, so 3 by 3 3/4. We can make tags out of these later. And 2, and I'm just going to use a piece of white cardstock for this centerpiece. So this is just a scrap piece that I have. And this needs to be 4 by 4. So these pieces will go just like this. And then we will need a couple of pieces to go on these sides right here. So these are 1 inch by 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to do these at 7/8 by 4. Put our trimmer to the side, and let's put all of this together. And then we'll do the last finishing pieces there. So this went on here. So I'm just going to put some glue on here. Just like that. So you can put pieces on the backs of these, just use the same measurements as these, and you can, if you have lots of little scraps, you could cover these two, triangles here as well if you wanted to. I find that I don't feel that it's necessary, but you can absolutely do that if you want. So this piece here is going to go here, and I am just going to lay it down. And I'm going to take my pencil, and right here along this score line is where you want to trim it. So I'm just trimming it about 1/8 of an inch up, and you can use your paper trimmer. I'm just going to cut them. And then this can just go on there like that. So there is the pop-up component. We need 2 pieces for here. And I'm just going to use some of this paper. So we are going to trim these to 1 3/8 by 1 7/8. We need 2 pieces. So 1 7/8, 1 7/8, and then 1 3/8, and 1 3/8. Let's go ahead and glue these down. They'll just go over this like this. And this one is just going to go over this like this. So we're going to go ahead and glue this piece down. So this piece is 4 by 6 as well. So here's the top, this piece goes down, and then this is just going to glue on right at the bottom. So we're going to put glue along our tabs here. Oops. Don't do that. If you do, make sure you get it off before you glue it down. And then we're just going to put glue kind of along the bottom here, just like this. And then we're just going to line it up and press it down. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder to press that down really, really, really well. And then we will leave it for a minute so that it can set, and then we will test it out. Alright, so now we can just pop this open, and there we have our pop-up page. And you'll have a cute little pocket that you can insert, you know, extra journaling cards or tags or whatever in. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was pretty simple, and I know I've done this one before, not quite this way, but let me know in the comments what you think or if you have any questions. And as always, if you are interested in seeing more, don't forget to click on that subscribe button. Thanks, everyone.